Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is V. If you're new, welcome to the family. If you're old, thank you so much for coming back. So once again, if you're watching my videos for this revision season, you always need a notepad and a pen to make sure you take notes throughout and you follow me along on what I'm saying. So grab your notepad and pen and let's get started. So number one, thank you so much for 17,000. I can't believe we've hit 17k. That's insane to me. Number two, I'm sorry for my voice. I'm not well right now, but I don't know, I always get a cold and then I lose my voice and whatever. And number three, I'm going to tell you guys about a study technique that I use religiously all the time, and I hope it's helpful for you guys. So stick around and let's start. So this technique is called the Scribble Technique, and it's all about note taking. And I feel like when we're all studying, note taking is one of those things that you just never know, like, is it actually worth it? Am I learning? But we all do it because we don't want to miss out. We're kind of afraid of not doing it in case it does work and then you don't do it and you don't learn. But then you're scared of doing it and wasting your time when you don't have enough time. Now, let me tell you guys, this version, this Scribble technique, really works for those of you who are doing A-levels. It's not as helpful and as useful for those in university. I'm not sure for GCSE, but this is genuinely targeted very much at A-level students, right? So the Scribble technique is essentially a technique that tests your memory constantly while you're revising. It kind of like challenges you all the time. So yeah, that's what the Scribble technique is. So when you're at university, it's essential that you take notes of what your lecturers are saying and what you're listening to in your classes and stuff, because your lecturers are the people that set your exams. Like, they are the experts that are going to set your exams that you sit. Whereas when you're doing A-levels, your exams are set by your exam board, which means that the notes that you take are going to be more important from your exam books and your syllabus and your prospectus stuff, whatever that is, rather than what your teachers are saying. Which I'm not saying don't listen to your teachers. I'm just saying, just follow me along here, okay? Follow me along. So essentially, the main aim of note taking, and once again, this is all coming from the book How to Ace Your A-Levels. None of this is made up by me. I'm just following methods that have been tried and tested by students for years and years. So essentially, when you're note taking, normally you're just consolidating information that you've read in a core textbook. You're basically trying to put it into simpler terms that you can understand and use when you're revising. You're just rewriting what someone else has said, but in a way that it will stick in your mind and that you will remember in an exam, right? That's what note taking is in like a box. So essentially, in that respect, the main aim of notes is that hopefully it will become easier to revise when you understand the topics which are complex in a much easier and more relatable manner, right? That is the main aim of note taking. But the main problem for me with note taking is that it sometimes tricks people. Like, you will think there was a time before in the past when I used to believe that my note taking was the hardest amount of work I'd ever done. Like, I would feel like, oh, I've just done a hard day's work because I have 20 pages of notes and they're all colorful, pretty, set out, and look at me, I've put stars all around it, it's glistening. I've done so much work, and I feel like note taking can trick you sometimes. Like, you start to procrastinate through note taking because you feel like you're doing something, but really you're looking at a word, you're copying it onto another piece of paper, just in a different color and nice pretty pen. And I feel like that's not being productive. That's just you doing a lot, but it doesn't mean anything. So for me, really and truly, studying is not about how many pages of notes you've made, it's about how much you've understood. So I would rather spend 2 hours of solid work and I understand 5 things and leave feeling accomplished of thinking, okay, now I know there's 5 things and they're embedded in my brain, than to do 10 hours of note taking and you're just doing it passively. You're just literally copying, regurgitating, copying, but you don't actually understand anything. That's just not useful, right? So what the book that I keep telling you guys about says is that many of the exam books are already summarized and they're pretty concise as it is, because they've been made for students by, you know, examiners and whatnot. So they are already as concise as they probably could be. So there's no need to like go make bullet points of what's already been made concise. What you need to do is to test yourself in your knowledge, and this is where my Scribble technique comes in. Sorry sorry it's taken so long to tell you guys about it, but I wanted to kind of clarify what I think note-taking is. So instead, I'm going to show you guys what the Scribble technique is, and I'm going to write it down for you so you can use that version instead, which I think is much more helpful. The notes you'll make will be more useful, and yeah, it's just more productive, and it takes less time. So you could spend, instead of spending 5 hours reading a book and making notes, you could do the Scribble technique and spend 2 hours and reading and making your notes, but you still get more out of it. So here we go. Okay guys, so you know I'm in business when I put the phone here. So basically, ew, my nails, please don't look at them. I'm gonna get them done very soon, I promise. So basically the Scribble technique, here we go. Right at the top of your page, Scribble technique, okay? And this is how you do it. The first step of the Scribble technique is open your textbook. Textbook. So the first part is open your textbook. The next part, draw a downward arrow like this and follow me along here. Read through 1 to 2 sides of the book. Okay. The next step is to read through 1 to 2 sides of your book, right? Whatever it is. The next step is to close the book. Okay. You following me along here? I've written that too big, but yeah. Step 1, step 2, step 3. The next step is to scribble down everything that you remember. Next step is scribble down everything that you remember. That's step 4. Step 5. Open your book and see what you forgot or got wrong. Okay. That was step 5. And then the last step of this brilliant technique is read the next 1 to 2 pages and repeat. That's step 6. This is the Scribble technique. Like, it's so easy but yet so good, and honestly, like, you don't need to waste your time making all of these pretty notes and whatever, because basically when you're doing this technique, your main aim is to like challenge yourself, like, oh, I can't wait to see how much I can remember from my memory. So you close your book and you're scribbling. When you open the textbook, you read back through that page and you check what you got wrong, and you can clearly identify what parts you've missed out. So then you're not as bothered about it looking pretty and neat and saving it for the future. You're worried about then and getting it right then and there. So your main aim is you're not afraid to make mistakes, because you know you can literally just turn the page and do it again. And with the Scribble technique, it means that you're not afraid to get things wrong. You're constantly learning and repeating it and correcting yourself and adjusting your methods and trying to think, ooh, how can I best remember this next time? And you're learning on the spot, and you're not trying to save it for later, because I feel like when you're making pretty notes, your main aim is, how can I write this so I can remember it later? Whereas the Scribble technique, it's not about that. You're literally just learning then and there. And I don't know how to explain these things. I don't have a scientific background behind it, but all I know is that it works for me. So that's why I'm sharing it with you guys, trying to help make this exam season process a little bit easier for everyone. And I hope this helps. And I know it sounds like a silly technique, and it's probably like, you're probably gonna ignore me, but believe me, so it really does work. And I'm not gonna try and convince you guys. All I can do is give like the help of what I used, and hopefully you'll take it on board. So that's the Scribble technique. If it works for you, let me know. I'm going to do more videos with more techniques, more ideas, more things. Next topic is going to be exam papers, past papers, and how to effectively use them. So hopefully this video helped you guys. And once again, The other methods are not wrong. This is just the methods that I prefer. Love you lots. I'll see you in my next video. And hopefully you guys have pressed subscribe. And hopefully our small but powerful family is going to keep growing. And hopefully we're all going to pass our exams. Goodbye.